How's it going, guys? In today's video we are going to do an unboxing and assembly of the Weber SmokeFire. I believe this one's the EX4 they call it. They have another model which is the EX6, which is the bigger brother of this one here. To be honest, this is probably one of the biggest boxes for being the smaller of the two that I've seen. Other comparable pellet grills that are out there, their boxes are a lot smaller. In comparison here, I have a Woodwind Wi-Fi over here next to me, and the box is considerably smaller, so I'm interested to see how they stack up against each other. But I'm gonna go ahead and unbox this. As you can see here, there's 4 tabs here, and then you pinch them together and you pull out to lift this lid, so you can see the tabs at the bottom there. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that, and we'll go ahead and get started with this video. Alright guys, I went ahead and opened up the box here. It's well packaged for the most part, but as soon as I lifted it up, everything came falling down. So it doesn't look like anything's damaged. You can see I literally just lifted the box, so that's kind of not a good sign. It seems well packaged, but it's, like I mentioned, everything came crashing out. But here are these tabs that I was talking about. You just pinch them and then pull out, and then they pull out from the box so you can lift up the lid. But I mentioned how big this box is. Here's the Camp Chef Woodwind SG, and you can see a noticeable difference, even though they're about the same size. So I'm interested to see how much bigger, or if it is even bigger between the two. So, but I'm gonna go ahead and start opening up all these boxes here and setting them up, and then we'll get started with assembly here. You can see you got the owner's manual and assembly guide, and then information about the app on the first things that you should do. So I'll go ahead and get these out of the boxes and set up on a little table, and we'll get started. Alright guys, I went ahead and took everything out of the box. As you can see here, I gotta pick that up here in a second. It's kind of windy in my area, but I went ahead and laid everything flat right here. Everything that came in each particular box, I kind of put them together, so I figured they put them in the box together for a reason. So that's kind of what I did here. As you can see, there is quite a bit of stuff to put together compared to other pellet grills. Typically put a shelf and some legs on and a few handles, but it looks like you're having to install this drawer for the ash and grease clean out, and supporting brackets and the front cover and everything. So we'll go ahead and get started here. Step 1 was to tip it on its side. Here on the packaging, when I unboxed it, you'll notice this piece right here was along the side. You actually keep that on there so you can tilt the grill over, because we're going to be installing the legs. So the first step is to install the legs. You can see they're color coded here. You got a red triangle here, and then a yellow star, and that's going to match up to these legs here. You can see a star, triangle, star, triangle. So we're going to go ahead and do that, and then we're going to take these set of screws here, and it says to only install the top screw first, halfway on all of them, and then go ahead and install the second screw. I think they do that so you have some wiggle room, because if you install it too much, the holes might not line up for the second screw. And then after that, it tells us to install the legs here, and we're just going to sit here and twist them on like so. And after you install the legs and put the casters on, it wants you to flip it over. So I'm going to go ahead and do that here. You can see it's probably going to fall off here, but just install the legs. There's only really one way for it to go. As you can see, it kind of lines up at an angle here. So I'm going to go ahead and put some screws in all these legs, put casters on, and put it up on its upright, and then I'll get back with you. Alright guys, a quick little update here. I failed to mention, when you turn it on its side, they want you to grab the E-box and put it underneath here, the pellet hopper, to add some support so it doesn't tip completely over, just in case. And then on here, it wants you to put the top and bottom screw all the way. First one, once you get them lined up, then tighten both the front, the 2 back ones. And on the front, it only wants you to install the top screw for both the legs, and only install them halfway. and then keep the bottom ones. You're going to install those here in a bit, where I'll show you what to do next. And then you want to put the locking casters in the front so you can lock it so it doesn't move, and then the regular without the locking mechanism in the back. Well, the issue I have is they sent me none with the locking mechanism on there, so they're all just 4 regular casters. I looked to see if I had to assemble them, but I don't have anything of that sort in none of my boxes. I double checked and everything, so I'm gonna have to reach out to Weber to get the correct casters, because this is just gonna slide around. It's gonna get pushed around. I like to lock things when I'm cooking, so I'll see how long it takes for me to get a new set, but we're gonna go ahead and proceed on with this. So let me go ahead and put these on and then flip it upright. Alright guys, I went ahead and flipped it up right here. Not having those locking wheels, those casters, made it a lot more difficult to try doing it on your own because I don't have any help, but I was able to manage. So the next step is we're going to install this front cover or shield or whatever they want to call it. There is no name in the manual, so you'll know if your screws here, when it tells you to tighten them halfway, if they're too they're not out far enough. It's easy. They're not really tight, so you can unscrew them here. And then we're going to install this here, and all we're going to do is put it through here. And when you install it, these screws have little washers. It's hard to see here. You want to make sure the washers are facing out here, and you didn't get it, you know, in between here on the washer on the back side. It doesn't do any good with it there. And then we're going to install the same hardware that we use for these legs down here, and then we're going to tighten this all up, and then we'll go to the next step. All right, the next step is we're going to install, let's see what they call this. It just says remove grease and ash drawer here, so that's what we're going to do. Is we already removed it here, so we're installing this actual bracket or the holder here for that underneath the grill. So I flip the grill around here, and let's see if we can do this here. But you're going to see the lip right here on either side, and then the 2 holes here, which is going to line up with these holes here. And so you're just going to lift this up and stick it there. Then you're going to see these 2. This is going to go in between this hopper here, and you'll see the screw hole. I can't really, let's see if I can, give me 1 second. Let me set you down here. All right, it's held into place somewhat here. But I still got to lift it up and push it forward. So we're going to put 2 screws here first to keep it up, and then we're going to install the 2 other screws right here up front. So let me go ahead and put this together, line it up a little bit better, and then go ahead and install it. Okay, I went ahead and finished installing the 2 in the back and the 4 in the front, and the same screws that you use for the legs that were in that little baggie you're going to use for this. So you should have no more of those screws with the washers or these Allens or whatever they're called left. And then I forgot to mention on here, when I was, it says to fully tighten, so when I was cranking it, it was making a lot of noise, and you can see how it's a little bit bent. But hey, the directions say to fully tighten, not to tighten snug. So that's what I did. So if you see it bent here, just know that mine did the same thing. There was no way around it. It was still a huge gap here. So I just did as the directions say, tighten fully. So we are going to install the drawer now here. You're going to see a little lip right there, and the lip's just going to hang on this this bar here. You want to make sure so when it's there, you can't move it around so it doesn't slide, you know, when you're taking it in and out. And then you're going to install it here, and it should sit flush completely. We are going to be working on the handle now. So we are going to be using this handle here. It's going to install right here on the side. Let me turn this in the light, sorry. It's really dark in my garage. For the hardware here, you're going to be needing these pieces here. There should be 2 of them, and then you're going to need this set of screws here. You're going to see 4 of them. There's only 4 of the smaller ones, and there's 2 large and then 2 of the really small ones. So We're going to be using the medium set out of the bunch here, so there should be 4. But when you install these here, you're going to notice they're angled. I don't know how well that's capturing on camera. So you want to make sure you're not sliding them in at the correct, you can force them down, but put them on at the same angle so you can see how it sits up against here. So it just should fall right into place here. You can get them back out if you install them wrong, but it's kind of a little bit challenging. So this goes towards the back from the looks of it. And we are going to go ahead and install this handle, so I will go ahead and do that off camera, and then we'll go to the next step. All right, the handle, side handle is on and it's fully tight. Next step is we're going to do the hood handle here for the lid, and the parts we're going to need are these longer ones that were in that same bag. We're going to need this here, the handle itself, and then you have a little baggie with a couple washers in here. So when you install it, you're going to want to do the small one and then the bigger of the two onto there. Oh, here we go. It's going to look like that. Then you're going to take this piece, and I've already done one handle here. And on this, you're going to see a little tab. That tab's going to go into this smaller hole here. So you're going to obviously open the lid, put that on, and then put the handle through the hole like you see here. And then you're going to tighten it on the back side here, underneath here. So let me go ahead and finish this up, and then we'll go to the next one. All right, the handle's completely on. I'll give you a peek at what it's supposed to look like, the final outcome. You can see it's completely on. The next step is, it looks like we're going to install this little igniter here. And you'll see it looks exactly like this. So we're going to need a screwdriver. They didn't provide you a screwdriver like they did with an Allen key here. So grab yourself a screwdriver. And I've already started this here. There's going to be these 4 screws on the back, on this back panel, like so. You're going to take off all 4 of them, and then you're going to see a whole bunch of wires here. Your igniter is down here, so it looks like you got a red and a black wire. So you just kind of follow it and find where it's connected. Disconnect it, and then there's a screw, a small screw. Here's the size of it. It's really small. You're going to take it off, and we're going to yank this out here. Then we're going to grab our igniter, and we're just going to pop it into the front here, and it just snaps into place. I can't really do it one-handed, but you're just going to snap it into place. Once you snap it into place, the directions, I'm going to want you to snap it into place, and then we're going to put the fire pot cover and then the grate on first before we put it back. So let me snap this in, and then we'll move on to the next step. Okay, I went ahead and snapped this igniter in. You can tell when it's all the way in because there's a little tab here. This tab is going to go over this like nut here. It's hard to see, but you'll hear it. You'll see a little stub, and it has to go over, so you'll know it's on. And then we're going to be installing this grate here. You want to make sure this hole, there's only one hole, go towards the back. So you can see some grooves already cut into the grill. So sorry for all the noise. I believe it's set into place there. Then we're going to grab, I don't know, this housing for the fire pot. You're going to see a little red and red. These need to be on the same side to match up. You can see there. Then we're going to grab this housing, and the screw hole goes up, as you recall. And we are going to install it back in. And when we install it, it's telling us to visually check to make sure the igniter comes through this hole, and I haven't pushed it far enough. So I'm going to need 2 hands to do this, and then I'll show you what it's supposed to look like after. Okay, I went ahead and installed the igniter and installed the back cover, and make sure you connect it while you're at it. I'll be honest, I was not able to get it through this hole flying blind back there. So what I went ahead and did is I slid it in a little bit, and then it was sticking out, and then I got it into this hole because I just kept going and going. I kept offshooting that. I wasn't able to get it into the hole. So as soon as I just pushed it in a little bit, I was able to pull it out and put it in through the hole. I hope that makes sense. And put this back here. Okay. Back, and then the next step is we're gonna put this little like slide or whatever it's called installed. So we're gonna need this here, and there's only 2 more screws left here, and those are the itty bitty ones that were in those ones with the handle and everything. So we're going to grab this, we're going to put it through here, and then we're going to line up the holes as you see right there, and we're going to screw those down, and then we'll go on to the next step. Okay, this is what it's supposed to look like when you're all done here. It kind of free floats on top here with the 2 screws down here, and then we are going to install this fire pot diffuser cover, whatever they call it, on here. There's only one way it can go. It doesn't fit the long way, so you'll know. You just put it in here. Then we're going to be installing these brackets for the flavorizer bars. You're going to see these brackets have a lip to them right here, and there's going to be 2 of them. So we're going to be installing on the front, or the front, sorry, and then the back. I've already installed it on the back here. That lip is gonna, you can see it fits snug. There's no taking it out, but there's gonna be these brackets here. That lip is gonna go behind this bracket. So let's see if I can do it on camera here. But you're gonna want to install it like this, like with that support in the back. If I can get it with one hand here. Okay, you push it down and it's on that lip. You can see it's not going anywhere. It is covering this. I don't know if that's supposed to be on top or if it's supposed to be behind. I'll have to look in the directions here and let you know. And then we are going to be installing the flavorizer bars here. You can see the directions. 2 of the smaller ones on the outside here, which are these, and then this big one in the middle, and then install these shelves, and it looks like we are done. So I'll go ahead and put all that. I'm not going to film every individual step here just because this video is getting really long. So let me put that up, and then we'll give it a quick overview. Alright guys, this is what it looks like all set up here with the grates installed, the flavorizer bars and the top shelf here. The only thing left was this thermometer here and a scraper, and then a power cord, which I went ahead and plugged in right here. It goes right underneath. I don't know if I can be able to see that, but the power button's here, plugs in here, and then this is little Velcro, so you can wrap it up and it just holds it in place here. So give you guys a quick little once through here. Other than not having the locking casters, everything went smoothly. I do have some damaged here. It rubbed it. This is really smooth texture here. This is really rough, so whatever box is right here kind of just rubbed down. I'm sure this will clean up, but as far as texture wise, there is a difference here. So but go ahead and look out for the review and comparison video I will be making with the Camp Chef here. So if you guys have any comments, questions, concerns, go ahead and leave them down below. Thanks for watching, guys.